How's it going, guys? Got another land battle replay for you. Gonna have Vampire Coast, headed by Stormrunner on using Cylostra and Girasario under Grand Cathay with his Dragon-Blooded Shogun Lord. Now, one thing of note is that I actually recorded this replay already, but the thing is, what happened was a mod I used for casting replays. Um, well, I added a new mod on the ones that I had using the that I used to cast replays. And unfortunately, it altered some replays outcomes, and a lot of things were different in this replay that I noticed when I was going back to it. Like a lot different. Like some units dying earlier than they should have, or dying because of some freak accident or whatever. It was really weird. So unfortunately, and I had to change it. I had to recast it because it changes. It's changed who won in the replay. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna recast it. I don't mind. It's a fairly good game, but unfortunately, yeah, some of my reactions aren't the same. But nonetheless, I mean, some things will change. It'll still be new to me in certain ways. But yeah, let's get right into it. So Cleostra, we got her on her crab, and she's gonna be rocking Song of Enthrallment, Ghost of the Past, Call, and Spiteful Shot, along with Vangeist Revenge. That's it for her, along with her Bordeloo Flabellum, whoever knows. Gunnery White with Scab's Wraith, more powder, and Enchanted Ballistics. That'll be it for him. Like that choice because it helps buff those really crappy mortar units. I mean, mortars aren't crappy; they're just so incredibly inaccurate a lot of the times. But they're still, fairly essential for dealing with cheap archers like Grand Cathay has. Now, for the rest of the army, we have deck gunners, one being the R-Wire Shade Wraith gunners, who are fantastic and can do pretty substantial damage and play a very essential part in winning you a game if your opponent doesn't expect you to bring them. Because that physical resist at 55%, and then that pretty nuts AP damage at 39, with the discouraged effect. Pretty good. And then of course their ammunition being magical. Now for the rest of the army, there will be 2 sirens, some scurvy dogs in the back, gunnery mob with hand cannons, and then some regular gunnery mob up front. Oh, and of course the bombers, which I forgot to mention about. For Grand Cathay side, we have 2 Onyx Crowmen and Vanguard, the Dragonblood Shogun Lord, as their Lord option with the skills of Celestial Court, Missile Mirror, Ancestral Warriors, and Talons of the Night. Now, for the rest of the army, we have the Green Guardian, the Terracotta Sentinel ROR, very good against missile factions who don't have the damage potential to, or rather, don't expect it, so they don't bring the damage to snipe it from far. The units to snipe it from far away. And even then, it's going to take a long time to snipe it, even with like Vampire Coast cannons, because it has 100 armor. It has 12k HP, and has that flat missile resistance, which actually I'm not sure if it applies to cannons. I think it does, but I could be wrong, because it is just missile attacks. So, somebody can probably correct me on that. But nonetheless, it's a very hard to take down with just cannons. You're going to take a long time to shoot it with a cannon, even with more than one. It's just, but that's why it's so good. It can once it makes it to the front line and eventually gets to your back line, because it's so freaking hard to get rid of and hard to pin down. I mean, look at the mass, 6,500. It's gonna be hard to pin this thing down. And once it gets into your back line, it's gonna wreak havoc. You shoot at it within that radius right here, your shots are gonna go in straight back at you. Very cool unit. I love Green Guardian. Very awesome. And of course, it has that magical attack. And then just great set line all around. We have 2 fire rain rockets already shooting in, so I need to speed it up just a little bit. Jade Warriors, the Halberds, and Celestial Dragon Guard, which I didn't notice in the first recording. Yeah, there's Celestial Dragon Guard. I don't know how I have missed those, but Peasant Long Spearmen and Jade Warriors. Then we have some cheap Peasant Archers. Let us get right into it. Right off the bat, we're gonna have some nice fire rain rocket shots in over and on the mortars. They're gonna be targeting that because that's gonna be probably the easiest thing for them to get rid of it. Right off the bat, the Empire Coast player is punishing the Grand Cathay player with these really nice shots in from the Shade Wraith Gunners on the Shogun Blooded Lord because they got a little too close. They got a little too close for their liking. Onyx Crewmen are going to take a really bad engagement trying to jump in on those cannons really early, and were unfortunately devoured by those scurvy dogs. One in particular shattered practically immediately after terrifying. The other one terrified and is most likely going to die as well. Not only that, but the gunners are going to be shooting into their back. They got, first of all, they got a volley in before the Onyx Crewmen even landed, so it was already a bad option, a bad idea from the beginning. Mortars are going to get some shots in, but the thing is, right now they're targeting the Fire Rain Rocket. Now, it's doing okay, obviously, because it kills one model, but it's not worth it, simply because they're going to beat you in DPS a lot faster than you will. I mean, it's helping. You're killing a few crew, but they're going to take out your mortars faster than you can take out, their Fire Rain Rockets. These guys are going to return back, most likely. But you did kill off one model, and you did some crew damage. Nice, but I would have prioritized, yeah, I would have switched to the Peasant Archers practically immediately. And maybe even like the Jade Warrior or something, but I probably would have gone for the Archers first. But I understand them choosing Fire and Rocket. I mean, they got one off the field right off the bat. Though, again, it's coming back, so we'll see. Now, Deck Gunners pushed up a little too close. Grand Cathay starts pushing them back, making sure the Vampire Coast player watches himself a little bit, you know. They could easily take out those Deck Gunners if they are not paying attention. For some reason, the Fire Rain Rockets are shooting in at the Wraiths. Not a great idea. Definitely would be using that to be shooting at the Bombers, for sure. Getting the Bombers out, and maybe even getting the hand cannons out would be a much better option. Or even just the gunnery mobs. Mostly we are thrown on top of the gunnery mobs so they don't shoot at the Shogun Lord, but I would have just thrown them on top of maybe the Deck Runners instead. Or, no, actually, that's a solid choice, because the gunners, they're slowly moving. It's going to take them a while. By the time they even stop to start shooting, it's not going to do anything. So, smart choice. But it gives them the opportunity to get away. I don't know actually what they did. But nonetheless, it gives them the opportunity to get away. Mortars finally destroyed. Both are now taken out completely. Gunnery mob going to push up a little bit. Skirmish shooting in at the Spearmen, and along with the Shade Wraith Gunners shooting in at the Archers as well. Very nice volley of fire from the Vampire Ghost player. Peasant Archers are already close to routing off. In fact, after that one volley, they're going to be routing. Yeah, they're going to be, screw this. We're not done with this. We're not taking this anymore. Fire Rain Rockets shooting in at the Shade Wraith Gunners. Or, yeah, they're shooting at the gunnery mob and just damaging the Shade Wraith Gunners as well. I'd pull the Shade Wraith Gunners back. Though the rockets aren't magic, they're still going to do little damage. It's going to add up. While shooting at the Sirens, didn't really do too much. The Fire Rain Rocket spreads out a little bit too much. I mean, even then, with the Shade Gunners, they're even more spread out than the Sirens. And they're just soaking up those volleys and not taking as much damage as they would be if you put them on something else more tightly packed. Scurvy Dogs get on top of the Fire Rain Rocket, and great play by the Vampire Coast player. And it's really unfortunate, because if the Grand Cathay player had kept those crewmen back, they could have caught the Scurvy Dogs and stopped that from happening. But they threw them in way too early. Shade Gunner shooting in at the Jade Warriors. Great choice there, because those armor-piercing shots should be going into some of the most armored targets. Though, picking off the Peasant Archers is also a good idea. And the unarmored might be a better idea as well, because though that armor-piercing is going to do well against the Jade Warriors and the Halberds, the thing is, they have shields, and Jade Gunners, the ROR version doesn't have Shield Breaker. The base version, I believe, does, but they are gone. I may have missed them getting owned. Yeah, I think the Dragonblood Shuriken Lord may have taken them out. Ancestral Warrior Summon being thrown in on top of the bombers. These Peasant Spearmen got bombed, absolutely decimated. We're gonna get some nice crossfire in from both these gunnery mobs in on these Peasant Spearmen. That's gonna really suck. And then another bomber over here is gonna throw their bombs into the Spearmen and just absolutely destroy their day. They're absolutely gonna not want to be on this field anymore, so they're running. If you're gonna get some bombs into the Jade Warriors as well, which is gonna not only mess up their charge, but just do like a little bit of poke damage into them. Cylostra is being surrounded by Ancestral Warriors. She needs to not be in that situation, or at least get some backup. Otherwise, she's going to be taking a beating. I believe, even if... Okay, she doesn't. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, I thought she had just her physical resistance protecting her, even on the crab, but no. She's having her armored crab protect her in terms of armor and health. Bomber's still getting really good bombs into the Jade Warriors because the Jade Warriors haven't been told to charge it. Unfortunately, the order has been dropped most likely. The gunnery mob going to get more shots into Celestial Dragon Guard, which is really nice, but they should be pulling back because now they're being pushed by the Celestial Dragon Guard and they can shoot while running. So, but nonetheless, they're being engaged and now are going to be surrounded by the Jade Warriors and Halberds. Bombers unfortunately have been attacked by the Green Guardian and aren't being pulled out. Jade Warriors are fighting the Sirens. The Sirens have got on top of them, but the thing is, the Sirens aren't going to be able to beat them in a one-on-one. They need support. Sirens do not operate alone. Saber's Gunners have been taken down. I have missed out what it actually taken it out, but may have been the Dragonblood Shuriken Lord. I mean, they do have stranger value. You know, it's probably kind of had been something else. Nonetheless, they are unfortunately disintegrating. And Cylostra Direfin, she is doing okay. She got out of those Ancestral Warriors. Ancestral Warriors probably eventually dissipated. And now she's just wreaking havoc amongst the Jade Warriors. She will be crucial in taking them out. But now they're running over to the safety of the Green Guardian, who will beat the brakes off of Cylostra if she gets too close. Semi-pirate gunnery mob, a bit obscured, but they are getting shots eventually. Every once in a while into the Jade Warriors. They should probably switch targets onto the Green Guardian. Sirens are also fighting the Celestial Dragon Guard. They are charmed, so they are taking... It is making it as a bit of a harder fight for the Celestial Dragon Guard, but they should eventually win this because just a lower model count on the Sirens. And again, they are more of a support unit. They need to have chaff with them. Just like the Sirens, they did do a bit of damage to the Jade Warriors, but they are going to eventually lose that battle. And smartly enough, the Sirens are now going to be chasing out the Peasant Long Spearmen. Shuriken Lord was also joining in the fight as well. So that is definitely going to spell disaster for the Sirens because she has magic attacks and will do a bit of damage. Big tidal wave on these Peasant Spearmen, routing them off. The Sirens are unfortunately starting to crumble as they are at -3 leadership. Green Guardian is messing up these bombers, just wreaking havoc in the back line. As I said, Gunnery White has taken way too many beatings from the Green Guardian and is unfortunately just going to be taking a break from the rest of this battle as he falls to the ground. The Gunnery mob, smart by the Vampire Coast player, is making sure to keep him out of the range of the Green Guardian and getting those very deadly AP shotgun shots in, which will help save the match possibly. A big what is it called again? Vanguard's Revenge going in on these Jade Warriors. That's going to do so much damage. Also going to hit the Celestial Dragon Guard. Yep, absolutely destroy the Celestial Dragon Guard. Oh my god, they are gone. Deleted, terrified. Wow, that Grand Cathay player really messed up, letting those two get bunched up like that. And smartly enough, the Vampire Coast player punished him severely with that spell. I love the Vanguard's Revenge. It's such a good spell, but it's very hard to land if your opponent is paying attention. Sirens. Finish chasing off some peasant archers, are going to be chasing after the Jade Warriors now. They've been fairly crucial in this game so far. Very, very nice choice, bringing those guys. I mean, not only have they done damage, but they're able to chase around. They're able to be the fast-ish skirmishing unit or chasing unit for the Vampire Coast side, getting rid of certain problematic units that have not broken completely off the field. Another Ancestral Warrior summon thrown on top of the hand cannons. Don't necessarily agree with that. I probably would have thrown it over here with the Sirens and Cylostra, because that magic damage that they do would have helped a lot in the later fight. Would have helped a lot with getting rid of those Sirens. But now the Dragonblood Shooting Lord and the Grand Cathay side just rather has nothing besides the Green Guardian, who has magic attacks, but he's not great infantry killer. He's not built for decimating through infantry. He will eventually fall. He has only 38 melee defense, and he only has like less than half of his HP right now. Sirens will dish quite a bit of damage into him if they're not careful. Especially with the damn Knight Errants coming out. They have that AP value as well, and they can trap up the Green Guardian and the Dragonblood Shooting Lord. Especially the Dragonblood Shooting Lord. I don't think they could trap up the Green Guardian just because they don't have a whole lot of mass, only 1,000. And yeah, that Dragonblood Shooting Lord is gonna fall here. She's definitely gonna die. I mean, she might be able to get away, but she's definitely gonna shatter at the very least. But I bet's on it that she's dying. The Guardian is going to try to get some hits in on the Sirens, but now he's being encircled by the Deb Knights Errant and the Sirens. Is this the first summon from the Knights Errant from Cylostra? Let's see. Let's check that out real quick. I think, you know what? Is it just one summon or is it two? I should have looked into that. I'm pretty sure it's two. And maybe I missed the first one, or it's been nerfed to only have one. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, they saved this one for this final moment, and it's proving crucial. They're going to be lasting, what? Another 17 freaking seconds. They last so long. Look how much damage they're dishing out to the Green Guardian right now. This was a very solid choice that is going to win them this engagement right here. This really crucial engagement. And I mean, it was possible that they would have won even without it, but the Sirens are very easy to start crumbling once after a hit or two is taken. And you can see that, like, look at that one hit from the Green Guardian. That's already got them wavering. So actually maybe, yeah, the Knights Errant there may have won him this fight. But that is going to be going to the Vampire Coast player. Definitely. If Green Guardian got maybe 1 or 2 hits into the Cylostra, he would have died. Or maybe, 3, because I didn't exactly see how much HP she had left. But still, incredible. How powerful those Knights Errants were in that late game engagement. And again, that Ancestral Warrior, they needed the timing on the Grand Cathay player just needed to be refined a little bit. If they had that Ancestral Warrior summon for later game, for the very late moment like that, very much possible that could have helped so much in winning that game. Especially with a bit of careless use of the Talons of the Night. That Talons of the Night or that Winds of Magic could have been used much later at a better time. But there was that one on the Shade Wraith Gunners, I think, for the bombers that was just like badly placed and very easy to see by the Vampire Coast player, so they were to dodge out of that. But they got a nice pick on the Shade Wraith Gunners, and though unfortunately I'm pretty sure they paid for themselves. I think they're 800, 900, maybe less. I'm not sure, but I believe they paid for them. And even if they didn't numerically, they did in terms of tactically. They got certain units off the field and they pressured the Grand Cathay player to the point where they couldn't bring their Shogun Lord in on occasions and perform crucial spells that were needed. So just screening out that Lord, even if they didn't pay for themselves numerically, is very, very, very important. And there was just a really good job by Stormrunner there with their usage of the deck gunners. And a good pick as well. 2,000 value on Cylostra. She's extremely expensive on her crab. I don't think that's paid for her. But she's still very risky picking not just 3 ethereal units, but Cylostra as well. I mean, the thing is that on her mount, she's not considered technically ethereal, as in she doesn't have the weaknesses of an ethereal unit. But she's still extremely expensive. So, and she also doesn't have anything to heal up any of your crucial units, like your deck gunners, or like your Syrenes. But nonetheless, she did okay. 2,000 value. She did decent. That Vangeist's Revenge was probably quite a bit of that value. That was extremely crucial. Another crucial point in winning that game. Getting those Celestial Dragon Guard off the field and those halberds off the field just like that. With that one spell, that really almost nailed the entire. That almost hit the entire nail into the coffin there for the Grand Cathay player. If there was any bit left before that nail hit that coffin, it was the Ancestral Warrior summons. And just unfortunately misusing that just killed the nail, unfortunately. But Gunnery White, 500 value. Most of its value was in replenishing that ammo and getting that accuracy buff to the mortars and to the gunners. That was just, a decent pick. Yeah, overall, 1,000 value on the Scurvy Dogs. That's nuts. Pretty good. The bombers did okay as well. Yeah, I think the hand cannons did substantial. 1,600 freaking value. They more than well paid for themselves by a lot. Just getting a bunch of shots into the Terracotta Sentinel, to the Onyx Crowman, getting those off the field, etc. Really good choice. Really good pick there. Only 400 value on the Shugen Lord. Ditto Rider Bells. 1,600 value on the Green Guardian. Didn't pay for themselves, but still did extremely well. Fire Rain Rockets did 1,000 value on the Dragon Guard as well. On the halberds, yeah, the Onyx Crowman were a big misplay, picking up practically no value. But nonetheless, solid replay. There was quite a big differences I want to talk about just a quick second. In that, in the other version of the replay, it was funny because the Shade Wraith Gunners had killed themselves shooting at the big green giant because he got into the back line, and the Vampire Coast player somehow didn't decide to move the Shade Wraith Gunners away, or rather wasn't able to. I'm not entirely sure, but the Shade Wraith Gunners and the bombers killed themselves. One of the bombers killed themselves because the missile reflection. It was just so incredibly funny because the Shade Wraith Gunners do magic damage and they are weak to magic damage. So I just found that really funny. Same with Cylostra. Cylostra died like maybe a couple minutes before the game ended, and that pretty much sealed the deal for Vampire Coast. So the Grand Cathay player ended up winning there. It was really weird, but nonetheless, big stark differences here in the normal version. Oh yeah, what do the Sirens do? 900, 400, not too nothing too special, but nonetheless, yeah. Thanks Stormrunner for the replay. See you guys next time. Bye bye.